Dogs fans, welcome to another episode of After the Dogs Roar for the season of 2017. First things first, unfortunately our senior side will not be participating in the 2017 AFL Final Series, which is a little bit of a shame, but on a positive note, our VFL Footscray Bulldogs will be participating in the VFL Final Series this year in 2017, which is really great. So anyway, let's get into having a look at the episode agenda for this week's episode. Going to overview our final game of the year, round 23 v Hawthorn. It was a beautiful game in some ways, and I'll tell you why as I overview it. Then going to have a look at the round 23 votes for the After the Dogs Roar Best and Fairest Award, my votes, and of course going to have a look at the final leaderboard, who's won the After the Dogs Roar Best and Fairest Award for 2017. So that's coming up. Then going to have a final look at where we stand on the AFL ladder. Then going to overview our VFL round 19 clash, which took place on Saturday against Williamstown. Then a final look at where we stand on the VFL ladder. Then a preview to our VFL side's Elimination Final v Essendon. Looking forward to getting stuck into that. The AFL Women's State of Origin is coming up this weekend, so going to have a look at the Western Bulldog players participating in that game. And then to finish off the show, the fan favourite segment, it is the 5 fan questions. So let's get straight in now to overviewing our round 23 clash, which took place at Etihad Stadium on Friday night against Hawthorn. So the match against Hawthorn started with us kicking the first goal of the game. However, we basically trailed at every minor change. It wasn't by much though at every change. At quarter time it was 33 to us 26. Then at half time we trailed 46 to 59. At 3/4 time we were still in the match, 67 to Hawthorn 78. And the fourth quarter was a bit close too. In fact, we had a couple of chances to get back in it and maybe even steal the win, but unfortunately we couldn't send our champions in Matthew Boyd and Robert Murphy out in style, out with a win. Unfortunately, the Hawthorn Football Club, I should say, got the job done over us. The final score was the Hawks 15-9-99 defeated the Western Bulldogs 13-12. 90 in front of a big crowd. Let's have a look at the goal kickers from our point of view. Picken kicked 3, Hunter kicked 2, Dale also kicked 2. He's had a fantastic year this year, hasn't he, Bailey Dale? Campbell, Murphy, Boyd, Dalehouse, Liberatore, McLean kicked singles. Great to have Murphy and Boyd score a final goal before their careers came to an end. How beautiful was the send-off at the end of the game? How beautiful was it? It was good to see Matthew Boyd, Robert Murphy, Luke Hodge all go off together, being risen by teammates on the shoulders of teammates. It was just beautiful to see, and you can probably see a picture right now of it. It was just a beautiful moment. And it was more about that moment than the win for Hawthorn. It was that moment that, I think made everyone quite emotional, and it kind of sunk in a little bit at how much we're going to actually miss these champions of the game. Of course, our champions of the club, Matthew Boyd, Robert Murphy, both captains. Of course, Matthew Boyd captain in the tough times, and then Robert Murphy, captain throughout the last 3 years. They've been champions of the club, and they still will be champions and possibly even legends as they're elevated through the Hall of Fame and so forth. So congratulations to Robert Murphy, Matthew Boyd on sensational careers. They will definitely be missed. It's no question about that. Just back to the game. Again, we had more inside 50s than the opposition, 50 to 40. So that, you know, it sums up our season really, and that's been the trend throughout the whole season. The fact that you know, the fact that we've been getting it inside 50 and haven't been able to score, that's been, you know, the disappointing thing about it. But look, even if we did win this game, we wouldn't have made finals anyway, because the West Coast Eagles, Essendon, won their games on Sunday. Just to close with the best players, McRae, McLean, Boyd, Pickens, Suckling and Hunter got in the best players for this game. And of course, like I mentioned, a big crowd, 48,090 attended this game at Etihad Stadium. Massive crowd turning out to not only see the game, but of course see the champions or play their the last game, and of course be sent off in absolute style. So not the result we would have wanted, but you know, it's just been a season that hasn't gone our way, and you know, we can't do much about that now. We just have to you know, move on, focus on the pre-season ahead, and look towards next year, and hopefully being back up in the finals next season. Let's hope we can do that. And I said during the week, I think I said it on the Bev show on Sunday night, that Beveridge, he probably faces his probably second biggest test, besides actually getting the coaching job and then actually transforming this team to become, I guess, the premiers of 2016. I guess now he has the real kind of, you know, he has the real big job of you know, trying to get this team back to finals within a season. So so that will be Beveridge's big task throughout the off season and heading into 2018. And like I said, let's hope we're back there next season. Okay, let's have a look now at my round 23 votes for the After the Dogs Raw Best and Fairest Award. Let's get straight into it. I start with my 1 vote. Toby McLean gets the 1 vote. He got 26 disposals, 16 handballs, 10 kicks, 6 tackles. He kicked 1 goal. I thought he was pretty good in this game, and he's really been a good player, a standout player, an improved player this season. I reckon he's been probably one of the players inside the top 5. He might even be inside the top 5 of the best and fairest Charlie Sutton medal come October. So that will be interesting to see how that turns out. But yeah, Toby McLean gets 1 vote for me. He had a good game. 2 votes goes to Jack McRae. A big 33 disposals. He had 41 last week. So got a bit lower than last week, but still had a lot of the ball. 33 disposals, as I mentioned. 21 handballs, 12 kicks, 7 tackles. Only the 3 marks, 116 fantasy points. He had a good game, I thought. He was very noticeable in the game, and so that's why he gets the 2 votes for me. And then the 3 votes goes to the retiring champion and Matthew Boyd, who came back into the team for a last farewell. And in fact, I've heard rumours. I'm not too sure if it's true, but I've heard rumours that he's in fact going to be playing the VFL finals. So that will be massive for our VFL side. But he got 33 disposals, 12 handballs, 21 kicks, 12 marks in this game. Absolutely sensational from a retiring player, and then 1 goal to go with it as well. He was very influential, very noticeable in this game, and it's kind of hard to believe that he didn't play much of the year in the senior side this year, because if he can produce stuff like that week in, week out, maybe he should have been in the senior side throughout this year. But anyway, nonetheless, it'll be interesting to see how he goes in the VFL if he is playing. I'm not 100% sure that's correct. I'm sure you can all tell me about that. But yeah, like I said, if he does play in the VFL, that would be fantastic for our VFL side, who of course are in the finals. So there's my votes, my last lot of votes for the After the Dogs Raw Best and Fairest Award. Let's now have a look at the final leaderboard. Who's won it? Let's have a look. So congratulations to Marcus Bonampelli, absolute superstar. You knew he was going to win it, after watching last week's episode, really. He couldn't be caught, and he wins it on 22 votes. Second is Jack McRae, only 2 votes behind Marcus Bonampelli with 20 votes. Third is Lockie Hunter on 13 votes. You then have fourth, Caleb Daniel on 12 votes. Fifth is Toby McLean on 10 votes. Sixth is Luke Dalhouse on 9 votes. You then have Jason Johannesson 7th on 8 votes. And then joint 8th on 4 votes each is Lin Jong, Jake Stringer, Liam Picken and Shane Biggs. Joint 12th is Mitch Wallace, Tom Liberatore, Zane Cordy, Jack Redpath, Bailey Dale and Matthew Boyd on 3 votes each. 18th is Matthew Suckling on 2 votes, and then joint 19th with 1 vote each is Tom Campbell and Lewis Young. So there you have it. That is the final leaderboard for the After the Dogs Raw Best and Fairest Award. Congratulations to Marcus Bonampelli. And I'm sure he'll win the Best and Fairest, the club Best and Fairest. I think it's in October, I think, so he'll definitely win that, I reckon, because he's had a very, very good season. So once again, congratulations to Marcus Bonampelli, winner of the 2017 After the Dogs Raw Best and Fairest Award. Okay, time now to have a look at the final version of the AFL ladder for 2017. Let's have a look at where we stand and where we've actually finished in 2017. We have finished 10th on the ladder. With 11 wins, 11 losses. We finish above St Kilda on percentage. Melbourne are 9th and 4 points clear of us. Of course, the West Coast Eagles, Essendon, also 4 points clear of us as well. So, yeah, look, we finished 10th. Not really the position that we would have liked to finish. It's fair to say that. Of course, a lot of people had very high expectations of us making the top 8 in 2017. It hasn't worked out that way. But let's hope we can bounce back and make the finals in 2018. So just repeating, we've finished 10th on the AFL ladder in 2017. And yeah, after 22 games, 23 rounds of football, the home and away season has come to an end and the finals begin. But sadly, we're not a part of the finals in 2017. Okay, time now to have a look at our final VFL home and away clash, which took place on Saturday at Whitten Oval against the top of the table Williamstown, who it's fair to say kind of convincingly won this game, to be honest. Just to say straight off the bat, it was pretty much similar to the last time we met Williamstown, to be honest. They were just too strong for us. We were in the match at quarter time, only down 3 points, but since that moment, or since quarter time, we just couldn't really get ourselves in the match. And in fact, we were playing catch-up footy for a majority of it. And in the end, Williamstown convincing winners, and they are in red-hot form or going into to the finals. Williamstown, the final score: Footscray Bulldogs 8-10-58, defeated by Williamstown 14-17, 101. Let's have a look at the goal kickers from our point of view. Gowers to Hexie, Beckwith, Boyd, Jamison, Smith, Dixon, Pruden, Hayes kicked singles each, and the best players were Pruden, Hayes, Collins, Short, Russell and Roberts. So this was our round 19 VFL clash, our last home and away VFL clash of 2017. Of course, we've made the finals. Even though we did lose this game against Williamstown, we've made the finals. Let's now have a look at our final position on the VFL ladder. So our final position is 7th with 10 wins and 8 losses. After 18 games, we've got 14 points, and in fact, Essendon have finished above us on percentage. Of course, they're also on 40 points, but in fact, of course, we do verse Essendon in our first finals game of 2017. So yeah, we do make the top 8. We do make finals in the VFL, finishing 7th. Let's now have a look at our first game in the finals for 2017, our elimination final. It's going to be massive. Let's have a look at it. So our Footscray Bulldogs have made it to the finals, and they will be taking on Essendon in an elimination final on Sunday the 3rd of September, 2:40 p.m. at Fort Burn Stadium in Port Melbourne. Very good news for those who can't get to the game, because you can watch it on 7, and if you are interstate you can actually watch it on 7 Plus. Just use the Melbourne postcode and you'll be able to watch it online. So I won't be able to get to the game, but I'll surely be watching it and following it, because we need to really get behind our VFL side, because they've made the finals, and of course they have a chance to go back to back. Of course they won the premiership last year. So just repeating, our elimination final, Footscray Bulldogs taking on Essendon, Sunday the 3rd of September, 2:40 p.m. at Fort Burn Stadium. You can watch it on 7. We've versed Essendon 2 times this year. We versed them in round 6, I'm looking at the wrong notes. We actually versed them in round 8. At Whitten Oval. We won that game. It was a very close game though. We only won it by 4 points, 73 to 69. However, we lost to Essendon just recently at Windy Hill in round 18. That was just 2 weeks ago. That was, of course, in round 18 at Windy Hill. We lost 88 to 83. So it's been pretty kind of close and sort of even throughout the year when these two sides have played. So I'm expecting another ripper at Fort Burn Stadium this Sunday. Let's hope our Footscray Bulldogs can get the win and progress through to week 2, because like I mentioned, they are in the finals and participating in the finals in 2017, unlike our senior side. So looking forward to the match on Sunday. It's going to be huge. Okay, time now to get into the AFL Women's State of Origin match. It is Victoria taking on the Allies at Etihad Stadium this Saturday, the 2nd of September. The match will start at 7:40 p.m. You can watch it live on Channel 7 and also Fox Footy. And here's the Western Bulldog AFLW players that are participating in this match. Ellie Blackburn, Emma Carney and also Hannah Scott. In fact, these 3 players made up the top 3 of the AFLW after the Dogs Raw Best and Fairest Award, which you might remember from earlier in the year. In fact, Ellie Blackburn won the award, Emma Carney 2nd, Hannah Scott 3rd. They've been the clear 3 best players for our Western Bulldogs AFLW side for this year. Of course, the AFLW season was earlier in the year, the start of the year before the AFL season proper. But good luck to those 3 girls. I'm looking forward to sitting down on the couch on Saturday night and watching the match. It should be a very entertaining and exciting match. And of course, the 2nd edition of AFLW is not too far away. So make sure you get behind our 3 girls who are playing for Victoria. They're all playing for Victoria this Saturday, and it should be good. Okay, time now for the 5 fan questions. This is the fan favourite segment. Let's get into the first question from Michael. He asks, what went wrong this year, and what, in your opinion, was the major factor of our demise? I'm not really sure if I can put it down to one specific factor, because I think there's a multiple range of factors and a multiple range of scenarios as to why we didn't make the finals in 2017. I've mentioned time and time again on this show that our efficiency inside 50s has cost us games. We've probably had more inside 50s than any team in the competition this year. I'm not sure what the stat is, but geez, it would be close. We've had, we just haven't been able to get efficiency with those inside 50s, hence why we haven't been able to win as many games as what we would have done last year and so forth. Maybe, look, I'm not trying to make this as a big excuse, but the competition's been so close this year. Like, we've had teams such as Richmond and Port Adelaide who didn't make the finals last year come out of the blue and become, really good teams. Essendon as well has been another one. It's just been a year it's just been so close, and I don't really think we've actually been ready for that. We didn't make too many changes in the pre-season, to be honest. obviously we had to get rid of Hamling. He had to go to of course Perth to Fremantle, and then of course we lost a couple of others, and then of course we gained. I think we only gained one player, and that was Travis Cloke. Besides our draft picks. And then of course the injuries as well to Marcus Adams and a couple of others as well, I reckon has cost us a little bit this year as well, and that's why we haven't really had a real, our defence has been so different this year as opposed to last year, and that's always going to cost us games, and that's always probably not going to make us or I guess get us into the finals, because our defence was pretty good and structurally good last year, but our defence this year has just been poor. And our forward line's been a little bit of an issue this year. I know last year we probably didn't have the strong forward line, but this year it's been a major issue. Last year we were able to get it inside 50 and actually score. This year we haven't been able to do that. So it's a range of reasons, Michael. Those are kind of the main ones, I reckon. There's probably a few others. Beveridge, he faces a big task, I reckon, on the off season, and it'll be interesting to see what changes he makes, because there needs to be some tactical and also some squad changes that need to occur, because we just don't have we don't have key players at the moment, and that's been an issue all year. Jenny asks, do we need to change our backline, centre line and forward coaches, as it's just not working? It's a hard question, this one, and I'm not really sure how to answer it, because I'm not quite sure. I guess you could say yes in some ways, because I guess the coaches have failed really at the job they've done this season, particularly the backline forward. I'm not sure about the midfield. I think the midfield hasn't been so much a problem this season, although it has been in some regards. But our backline forward line's been woeful this year, but does that come down to the coaching, or does that come down to our list? And the fact that we probably don't have, we didn't have a lot of tall players in our forward line this season. We only, and I know the way about the game in the modern era is that it's all about the small forwards as opposed to the big forwards. But you still need a couple of tall targets, because we're getting it in there this season, and there's nothing happening from the inside 50s we're getting. So. We didn't have Boyd for most of the season. Cloak hasn't quite worked so well this season. Redpath's been okay, but we didn't have him for most of the season. Campbell's been okay. Roughhead can be good at times up there. And then, of course, you've got your smaller forwards. Does it come down to list? Does it come down to lack of key targets? I think that's what it comes down to for me. But I think some improvement to our coaching panel in specifically the backline forward line might just help, but it's also a list kind of issue as well in some regards, in terms of not having key players in these positions. John asks a very interesting question. What was our best win for the year? What was our worst loss? And your tip for the flag? Our best win was definitely against Essendon in round 19. Beating a top 8 side in the likes of Essendon, who have been travelling very well this season. At one stage this year, I didn't even think we could beat Essendon, and we did. It was a very good game, and in fact, the way we finished off that game was very pleasing. We won 127-97 that day, so I think that was our best win. Our worst loss has to be the Adelaide Crows game. It was a toss between that game and also the GWS game, the second GWS game at Etihad, one that I was actually there and actually witnessed, but I think the one against the Crows was disappointing. We took it up to them in the first half, but the second half was woeful, and that has to be the worst loss for me. My tip for the flag, I'm going to go the Crows. I think they've been very, very good this season. I think they'll win against the GWS Giants at home. They'll get that preliminary final chance. That week off, and then go through to the preliminary final. And then they should win that, and then they should play in the grand final, I reckon. But it's going to be another tight final series, I reckon, this year. Wouldn't be surprised if someone outside the top 4 wins it. Wouldn't be surprised if someone like Richmond is there on the last Saturday of September. Richmond or even Giants, I reckon, could still be there. But I'm going to go the Crows, even though they did lose against the Eagles at Domain Stadium. What happened last year? The Dogs lost at Domain Stadium, then made the grand final and won it. So the Crows are the premiers for me, I reckon. They'll win it.
And of course, stay tuned on youtube.com/Bevob5 Productions 1 and stay tuned to Bev's Footy Show, because I'm actually going to do a bit of a predictions to the finals in the next couple of episodes. So make sure you go and stay tuned on that show if you want to keep up to date with what's happening in the finals. Red WB asks a very interesting question. What slogan would you like to see for season 2018, that is. I had to think about this for a while, actually. I came up with a couple. The first one I came up with was Stick With Us, but I thought that was a bit too simple and it seemed plain. So I've went to the Bulldogs song, actually, and taken out one of the key lyrics for me, and that is Bulldogs through and through. So that should be the slogan for 2018, I reckon. Bulldogs through and through. And I think that reflects a little bit on this season, because I think I've been a little bit disappointed with how some fans and supporters have reacted to our poor season this year. Some have been really abusive and unfair towards the club, when in reality you need to look at the bigger picture and realise that the competition's so close that we just didn't perform in a way that could get us that back-to-back flag, and so now we just need to move on and focus on 2018. But Bulldogs through and through, I think is a good slogan. I'm happy with that one. I'm sure someone can come up with a better one, but Bulldogs through and through is my slogan. I've made that the slogan because I think as a club we can really combine together and really do this. Not only the senior side, but also the women and the VFL side come together as one and really make this club a real great club. It already is a great club, and if you're a true supporter, then you'll definitely be Bulldogs through and through. Last but not least is Stephen. He asks, "Hi Jacob, do you see the recruiting team going all out at the trade table to secure a big name recruit after saying for the past 2 years of landing a big fish with no success?" Yeah, we haven't really been too active in the trade period. I guess Matthew Suckling's been kind of the recent big kind of signing that we've got from the trade period, in my point of view. Travis Cloak was not too big last year, I would have thought. But then again, it's been good to have him at the club this year, and of course he'll play in 2018 with 1 year remaining on his contract. But look, I'm not sure if they'll go all out, but they have to explore options. You know, Jake Lever has to be considered, and there's probably a couple of others that need to be considered as well. We need to be active on the trade. We need to be active in the trade period this year, I reckon, as well as the draft, because yeah, we haven't really been too active on the trade period as of recent years, and you know, I know it's not all about trading, but I think 1 or 2 trades wouldn't hurt, and players coming our way, that of course wouldn't hurt. And that is it for this week's episode of After the Dogs Roar. Now, just to clarify, I will be back next week with another episode. I'll be doing this show until our VFL season is over, so I'll be overviewing our Elimination Final against Essendon next week. I'll also be doing the 5 fan questions again next week as well, and maybe a few other things. So make sure you stay tuned. If you liked this episode, then make sure you like, comment and share this video, and also subscribe to keep up to date with After the Dogs Roar and all the other content I do as well, such as Bev's Footy Show, and I've got a racing show starting this week as well. So if you're into your racing, then of course press that subscribe button and check that out. And of course, don't forget to check out the Bev Show every Sunday night, 8 PM Australian Eastern, on facebook.com/thebevshow. So thank you very much for watching. Unfortunately, it hasn't been our year, but our VFL side is still alive. They're heading into their first week of finals this weekend, so get behind them, and let's hope I'm talking about a win for them next week. Bye for now. Go Dogs!